Disney's Soarin' attraction has been a beloved ride ever since it made its debut as Soarin' over California at Disney's California Adventure back in February of 2001, almost a quarter of a century ago. But when Disney updated both Walt Disney World and Disneyland's versions, with each opening on June 17, 2016, to include the footage made specifically for Shanghai Disneyland, a resort that made its worldwide debut just one day prior, people noticed some oddities, especially with a certain French landmark included in what was now called Soarin' around the world. Let's talk about Disney finally fixing the image of a bent Eiffel Tower nearly a decade after Soarin' around the world made its debut here on That Park Place.
Disneyland Resort is quietly fixing the infamous curved Eiffel Tower seen in Soarin' at Disney's California Adventure. And there you see what it looked like, guys. Oh, it's so beautiful and it's so leaning. It was... yes, years of ridicule over the warped Paris scene has finally led to a fix as Disney Imagineering will update the Eiffel Tower in Soarin' around the world at Disney's California Adventure. Now, for years, one of Disneyland's most talked about visual oddities hasn't come from a mischievous animatronic or a breakdown on Rise of the Resistance. It's been the Eiffel Tower itself. The iconic Parisian landmark featured in Soarin' around the world has long appeared unnaturally curved when viewed from the sides of the theater. Now, Disney has finally decided to straighten things out. In a quiet but meaningful update, Disneyland officials confirmed that Walt Disney Imagineering is preparing to revise the Eiffel Tower segment on Soarin', correcting the distorted, what's called a boomerang effect that has plagued the ride since the newer film debuted in 2016. Now, what went wrong? And now the updated, by the way, revised footage already in use at Epcot. I have seen it, and it does look fine. It looks perfect now. What went wrong? The problem stemmed from how Soarin' projects its footage onto a large curved dome screen. Now, while breathtaking from the center section, guests seated to the far left or right would often experience jarring visual warping. Nowhere was this more obvious or more mocked than during the Eiffel Tower segment where the famous structure appeared bent like a pretzel stick. Theme park fans across social media have poked fun at the distortion for nearly a decade, while memes and videos and even merchandise riffed on the Leaning Tower of Paris. But now, thanks to updated visual rendering and re-angled shots, the Paris scene will finally get the dignified presentation that it deserves, gentlemen. Guys, what did you? I assume you've seen the lopsided Eiffel Tower, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I actually have a photo of it right here. If I can just go ahead and share my screen right now. That's kind of how it looked right there. And you were not you're not downplaying the ridicule. I mean, this thing has been been mocked relentlessly for years. See right here, the Eiffel Tower in Soarin' is so beautiful, very funny. The chimneys must have been designed by the architect of Soarin's Eiffel Tower. I believe this is in Harry Potter and the Wizarding World there.
Hogsmeade, yeah.
Yeah, you can see right here, Eiffel Tower as seen from Soarin'. Yes, and Soarin' around the world, Taj Mahal versus Eiffel Tower. I mean, it just goes on and on. Space Jam really said Soarin' around the world, curvy Eiffel Tower rights. You can see right there.
Oh, man.
T-shirts made off of this right here. So make the Eiffel Tower straight again. Yeah. And this is one, I think this next one here is my personal favorite. My goal when visiting Epcot during Food and Wine Festival is to drink until the Eiffel Tower isn't curved when you ride Soarin'.
Wow.
I mean, it just mocked brutally, and that's this in social media and also private circles. I will say, I think that boomerang effect there that you talk about, you're exactly spot on with that analysis. It's a curved screen, and this is why the original Soarin' over California, for example, didn't really feature landmarks like I don't know, city structures or skyscrapers or whatever, because of that boomerang effect right there. And this exists not only with the Eiffel Tower, but also too with Monument Valley. Monument Valley, as you're coming up, across these these straight and narrow sections right here, will curve as well, especially if you're in those seats that are off the sides and so forth. So I think Soarin' around the world, I think it was done by, I want to say Tom Fitzgerald, but I'm not 100% sure on that. It was a different team than the initial team that did the original Soarin' film, and I think it kind of shows. I think the original team was much more in tune with the technology, and this is also kind of why you didn't have like transitions and so forth, because the original team felt that you didn't need to, and now you do, and you can see that it's just tonally it feels very, very different from the original.
Absolutely. Now, I mean, I loved the original Soarin' over California. It was one of my favorite attractions. When they closed it down to make Soarin' around the world, I remember going the first day and nobody knew what was going to happen. Everybody in the line was like, oh my God, because it was all like super fans there that morning. And they were all like, is Patrick Warburton still going to be in it? Are they going to change the soundtrack? What's going to happen? Everybody was terrified. Then the pre-show started. We saw Patrick Warburton. Everyone cheered. We got in. They took off. We heard the bum bum ba-da-da-da, and everybody was like, "Awesome, okay." And then we got to the curved, structures, and you could just hear everyone being like, "What? Like, what the heck is that?" Like, it was the epitome of this thing was not broken, so why did we unfix it? It was like I remember, like, you'd see one guy I knew when his kid rode Soarin' for the first time, Soarin' over California. He put a golf ball in his pocket and reached in and got it while the projection was going. And when the golf ball flies at the screen, he reached out in front of his daughter's face as if he caught it and then handed it to her.
You know who actually swings at that golf ball right there? It's actually Michael Eisner himself in Palm Springs, which is very, very interesting. Oh, yes.
That's great. It's great when Disney CEOs care about the parks.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
Now, if only they can give us some like more iconic, smells in Soarin' around the world, because the original you had orange groves and beautiful, and then you get like elephant butt grass with your Kilimanjaro. Like, just like what is happening right now?
That's such a weird. That's just a very strange smell. I think you get the Taj Mahal as well with the lily flowers and so forth. So not so great. I'll say this. I think the new film, like you said, Marvin, it's like, why fix what isn't broken? I don't think the intention was to fix what wasn't broken. I think it was all about, I know that they got permission from China to film over the Great Wall. And I know that they were going to put a Soarin' attraction into Shanghai Disneyland for its opening in 2016. So it's kind of like, well, we don't really want to do, Soarin' over California. Let's go ahead and update this for Soarin' around the world, and we can debut this in all of our parks after the fact, because the production costs are, they're a little bit more expensive. I think that was the thought process behind it, and I think it maybe works in Epcot. I don't know if it's necessarily appropriate for Disney California Adventure. But I know that whenever they do annual pass holder special events or anything where they're trying to promote Soarin' and have it be part of a festival or something, they'll bring back Soarin' over California, because I think people, at least at Disney, understand that fans like that just a little bit more.
Absolutely. It is a they just brought Soarin' over California back for several months as kind of like a special treat. I assumed it was while they were making the fixes to the Eiffel Tower for Walt Disney World. And yeah, it was I was happy with the changes that they made and fixing it now. Now it doesn't matter. Like, it used to be like when I would bring someone on Soarin' for the first time, like family and whatnot, I'd be like, oh, please let us get the center. Please let us get the center, because I don't want to hear about how the Eiffel Tower is curved. And please let us get the front row so we're not looking through people's shoes. Like, it is such a weird, wild ride, Soarin'.
Yeah, it's so strange, and it didn't used to be like that. I think like I said, the previous film, Soarin' over California, was a little bit more cognizant of, okay, we're gonna have people on the sides here, so let's not put anything that would be highly distorted on the screen. And I think it really worked. And I remember too, there were some great stories connected to like the filming of Disney of Soarin' over California. Those hikers or those mountain climbers, I should say, near the Yosemite section of that film. They were there for hours and hours and hours for that shot of them to be in that section of the film, and you can barely see them even on that big IMAX type screen right there. But like, they got the shot perfect, but then they got the shadow of the helicopter, and I was like, okay, well, how do we, what do we do there? And that's where the wing glider comes in. That was a post-production effect right there to hide that. So there's great stories attached to it and so forth. It's just Soarin' around the world. A lot of it's CG. A lot of it doesn't look that great. It doesn't really resonate as much as the previous version. And that's why in Disneyland, anyway, they bring back Soarin' over California at least once a year for their version of Food and Wine Festival.
Jay for $5 says they wouldn't have to worry about the screen warping if they cut 5 seats off the far ends. The queue already feels too long. They can deal with it. What's your opinion on that? I don't know how I would feel about taking seats away from Soarin'. In that, Jay's right. The queue is already very long. Even if you have a lightning lane, the queue is long.
Yeah, I don't know. Reducing capacity, I don't think that's necessarily the solution. I do like the solution implemented by Epcot, though, back in the day where they added another theater. Now, that was pretty good. And as Marty Sklar said, when asked about like what he would have done differently in Disney California Adventure, the one thing he said was put a third theater in Soarin', because that was obviously super popular. Everything else,
Absolutely.
It's the kind of ride that you can just keep it going forever and people will be amazed by it. It's a kind of ride that Disney used to make.
We're waxing poetically about the past now, gentlemen. It is a you know what? The one thing that I would like to see mostly from Soarin' is maybe a situation in which the ceiling doesn't collapse on people.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good one. I know the rights wouldn't actually work out for this, but I've always thought it would be fun during Mickey's Not So Scary-ish time. They don't do that at Epcot, I know, but to have a Lord of the Rings overlay and for one night for it to be Sauron instead of Soarin'.
Yes. Yeah.
That's
You worry about the curve on that tower.
You can see on screen.
Baradur is what it's called. Yes.
Exactly.
We're at the age, Marvin, where life stops giving you things and starts taking them away. Isn't that the Indiana Jones 4 line right there?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Not the years, it's the mileage, yeah.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media account.